Hey everyone, welcome to the Cilia Lee Show. I'm your host Cilia, and today, guess who's back?
It's me!
Claire's back again. Okay, so you know when we're together, we're going to be talking about relationship, dating.
Part 2.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So
It's been a long time coming, but we're here.
Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Well, I wanted just
Icks.
to start with
Yeah, so icks, yeah.
But that'll make for a juicy start.
Hold on, let me get my phone out. Or do you have yours?
Oh, I don't.
Okay, that's fine.
Did I do
The icks.
Okay, do you want me to start with my personal icks? Or do you want
Yeah,
me
go
to-
on. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, a lot of my icks are to do with self-care.
Okay.
That's what I realized.
Yeah.
So I realized that I know men aren't the most hygienic or as sort of aware of self-care as women are, but these are my icks when it comes to self-care.
Yeah.
I can't stand a man who has long fingernails. It just doesn't sit with me.
Why?
Well, there's so many reasons here, but for me, the main reason is, okay, so we're going to be in intimate situations. Like, for example, eventually you may potentially be fingering me, and I don't know where your hands have been. I don't know, like, what's underneath those nails. I don't know when was the last time you cleaned them. I don't know if you have a nail brush at home, or if you're just one of them ones who wash your hands. And
Or
you're
even
like, oh, yeah.
cut the inside of you.
Do you know what I mean? So there's so many reasons why long nails is a no-no.
Okay.
I don't know if you're a cokehead and you have your nails long so you can scoop up the cocaine.
Yeah.
A no-no.
Wow, okay.
There's so many reasons, but for me it's just like, why as a man, or as, you know, why as a man are your nails not cut? Why?
Okay.
I'm not asking you to go to the nail shop, but cut your nails. Okay, another one.
Yeah.
Dental formula. That's what my mom likes to call it. AKA teeth. Yeah? Okay. So my mom likes to call it dental formula. And I just can't stand when I can tell that you don't look after your mouth. Now, I don't need your teeth to be like the straightest or the most, I don't know, like blingy. You know, it's not about how white they are.
Yeah.
But if you've got stains, why? Like, fully, why have you got stains on your teeth? Like, do you drink too much coffee? Do you smoke? Like, what is it? Why you've got stains on your teeth? And if if you haven't got stains on your teeth, then me and you are cool. But just don't come to me with a dirty mouth. Yeah? Like, your gums are bare brown. I can see your teeth are falling out of your mouth like I'm not about it. Okay, so nails, dental formula.
Yeah. You know what? Talking about like self-care with men, like, so I agree, because it's a hygiene. Like, personal hygiene for me is a must. However, though, I cannot stand guys who are too much take care. As in, you know, when they can become like, don't, like, no offense to those who do like these kind of boys, but or men. But when you're spending more time to get ready than me, like, you have to. But then again, obviously, like, these are not my type of guys anyway. Like, you know, like with those guys who like gel in all of that, and your eyebrows on fleek. You know those guys who just, like, wax their eyebrows and pop it on fleek with the pointy at the end. I'm just like, what? You know. But yeah, I'm talking about heterosexual guy, by the way, like, who actually get their eyebrows waxed and all of that. And then, you know, don't get me wrong. However, I do like a nice beard that's like straight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't mind them looking like rugged.
Good.
Yeah, I like.
That's what makes you a man.
Yeah. Oh, I love my rough and rugged man.
Like, no, I feel what you're saying there, because I know girls who have dated guys who wax their bums.
Guys.
Yeah, men, like heterosexual men, they wax their bums. I don't know what they're doing in the bedroom, why they need their bums waxed.
I get if a guy have to, like, get the front to like clear that. That I'll
but most
respect.
men
But
that
the bum,
Celia, most men that I've ever been around here, just chop it down themselves.
yeah, or shave it, whatever. Get a razor.
Like, when I'm hearing man's going to the wax shop, no.
Oh my God! Can you? The thought of it, them turning around that bed, holding the
extreme it.
Open up the cheek, the butt cheek to
extreme
or legs out.
Could you? Oh my God! I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Moisturizers. Like, not to say a man shouldn't have a moisturizer, but you get these guys who will have, like, you know, some serum. Yeah. And then they'll have the moisturizer on top, and I'm thinking, yo, bro, that's my job.
But you know what? Though, one of my friends, he told me recently that he's been putting sea moss on his face.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
does it make a difference?
Yeah, he said he's made a difference. Yeah, so I guess a bit of skincare routine is cool. You know, so you gotta look good. You know, as you age, but just don't overdo it. Yeah, but anyway, my ick, is the clothes. As in, when your clothes smell.
Oh yeah.
So, if you're coming to meet me and your clothes smells, again, that's a personal hygiene thing, isn't it? Like, especially, I hate the smell. To be honest, men or women. Well, you know when you wash your clothes and you don't dry it properly, and it has that not even damp. I don't even know how to describe it, but that smell is you know. Yeah. And for me, I'm like, can you not smell it yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my ick.
I feel like nobody should come and date you without aftershave on anyway. So you shouldn't even smell that deep into their clothes like that. So if you do, that's an issue, definitely.
Yeah. Another one is trying to think. If a man goes, yeah.
Why would a man do that?
No, we know when they said, yeah, like just because.
Okay, so
just
when they're
say
talking,
that, like, yeah.
it's
like
so funny. I was dating a guy whose ick was dude. So sometimes when I was really frustrated, I'd be like, dude, and he'd be like, don't go. Are we mates? Like, I'm not your mate. Don't call me dude.
Yeah,
that was his ick.
On that as well. When someone goes to me, when someone spud me, when they greet me and they spud me.
That's an ick.
Yeah, well, don't know, if we're friends, cool. But if we are supposed to date, then don't spud me.
Yeah.
Like if we'd like seen or like,
thing.
yeah, like spud me. I was just like, I actually said it to both of them before. I was like, don't spud me, because I found like very masculine.
Yeah.
To be honest, I even say it to
not one of your bros.
Yeah. To be honest, I say it to even to my guy friends as well. Actually, I said, I don't actually really like spudding. He goes, why? Because I find it very masculine. You know, if you want to greet me, hug me, or I guess sometimes we know our conversation. You're like, oh, you want to spud me, like kind of show respect or whatever. But in general, I just say like, high five me.
Yeah.
Don't spud me.
Yeah.
That's my.
Okay.
Yeah, those little gestures. But anyway, I'm gonna get up this. I found the page.
Okay.
Quickly just do that and then we go into the relationship. But I'm just randomly picked one. This is the ick. When they eat their dinner with a tea towel on their knees because it's too hot.
Oh, bless them. See, I just think that would be cute. That would not give me the ick. I'll just think, oh, bless him. It's too hot and he doesn't want to get his trousers dirty. What a clean man. Great. Green flag for me.
When he makes an orgasm sound when eating something really tasty.
Again, no problem for me. You know, let's just make sure that the orgasm sound you make in the bedroom is even better.
I don't know what happened to the old ones, but anyway, let's not forget about that.
Oh, I want to give you one of mine.
Yeah.
So another one of mine is shoes. So if you come to date me, I feel like shoes complete an outfit. Like I feel like shoes are like, if he looks really, really nice and then you look down at his feet and they're rubbish, it's just like, it's like you're just falling off a cliff, you know? It's that disappointing. So for me, the shoes have to complete the outfit. Whatever you're wearing, those shoes, I have to be like, yeah, he did it today. Yeah. He did it with the shoes. Even if it's trainers. Yeah,
I kind of agree. Like, he has to somewhat go with the outfit. Yeah. But another thing is, they have to be, don't come with like muddy shoes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, yeah.
Stuff like that gives me the ick. You came to date me in your raggedy shoe.
Yeah, however though, if you come with like some Gucci shoes, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
I don't care about all that kind of stuff. I remember some guy was like to me, oh, do you remember the first date on our first date I wore those Gucci shoes? I was like, no, I don't.
Remember.
If anything, I'm not gonna lie, I remember them, but I didn't know they were Gucci.
Right.
But in my head I was thinking, oh, I don't like those shoes.
Oh, really?
But I didn't say that because I thought, shit, they're Gucci shoes.
Yeah.
I can't be saying that, but but that was that. But yeah, so anyway, let's jump into relationships. Last time we spoke about dating, this time relationships. So I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah, well, my first thing was just about, you know, as you've just said, dating and relationships are different, right? And my first thing with relationships is, what is the point of being in a relationship? So one of the things I was thinking about when I was thinking about, you know, coming to do the podcast, I was thinking about, what it is that defines a relationship in today's society. And I feel like in today's society, a relationship is defined by how much joy the other person can offer you. And that's why there's an obsession about finances and there's an obsession about certain things. But I feel like essentially what a relationship should be is the love of two people pushing both of them to be the best version of themselves. So rather than it be like, oh, I love him because he surprised me for my birthday. Oh, I love him because he took me out to, I don't know, Hakkasan last
Superficial.
weekend. Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are all the reasons I love him, because he bought me a bag, or because he took me to a restaurant, or he took me on holiday, and I was able to put some nice stuff up on my IG. And it's like, it's great that the person that you're with has a desire to make you happy and tries their best to make you happy all the time. However, the best version of yourself, when we were at school, for example, for the teacher to make you the best version of yourself, your teacher was hit by resistance. Sometimes you didn't do your homework. Sometimes you rocked up to class late. There was resistance there. Similarly, if you're in a relationship and you're trying to push that person to be the best version of themselves, there's going to be resistance. You know, you're going to come home and be like, babe, I liked your jerk chicken tonight, but that's not the best you've made it. You're going to have that level of honesty. That's what makes your relationship a relationship.
Don't sugarcoat things.
Exactly. Don't sugarcoat. Don't lie. As I've said on a previous podcast, a real man is a man that is not afraid to upset his woman. You know, like, that's really important as far as I'm concerned. So this idea, which I think is really, you know,
accountability.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that the lack of accountability is really pushing all these new relationships.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's see what's happening on Love Island. Okay, this is happening. So this is what a relationship looks like. You know, rather than modeling our relationships off of older generations, people who've been together 40 plus years, we're modeling it off of something that we saw on ITV. Do you know what I mean?
And also another thing, basically, when you know how saying like, say, let's say if the man goes, oh, you look a bit big or whatever like that. I get the honesty, I get that, right? But so anyway, let me take you my example, for example. So I used my ex, for example, he used to be like to me, again, back then I was younger as well. He was like, oh, you look a bit like you've put a bit on weight on your legs or on your face. You might want to go back to do your spin classes like that, right? So me at the time, I was like, okay, cool, yeah. I'm like, yeah, he's just telling me that keeps me motivated, you know, like, keep fit. And then when I told my friends, some of my female friends, they're like, oh, what a jerk. Yeah. Like, how can you say that? That's like, what? He's out for blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I felt that he was just a way to keep pushing me. Yeah. However, now I'm thinking back, in a way, he, like, the way he said it, I do feel like maybe
he knew that it was an insecurity, or he knew that.
Yeah, I feel like he could have said it better. Yeah. Because if I'm honest, in my opinion now, I feel like we love compliments. So does men, but we women are different. We like to we actually probably we'll be more motivated to do something when the man deliver it in a way, for example, saying like, oh, babes, you know what? I love. Let's say you should start going gym. I'm like, babes, I love the fact. The way you look now, you actually look so much better. Like, keep up the good work at the gym.
Yes. So something more
something like that. Yeah, exactly, like that. Then I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I'm doing like he can, because that goes back to being seen.
Yes.
And being heard.
Yes.
Right. So it's basically validating like, yeah, what I'm doing is great like that. So I just think like if the man can say things like that in a relationship, me personally anyway, I think that would like is a good way to like affirmation and affirming something, and then also like building that great connection, knowing
and
what
the accountability, but just in a nice way.
Yeah, nice way, exactly. Yeah, because sometimes, don't get me wrong, like some people are sensitive.
Yes.
You know, if you just say like, babe, like what the fuck, like what do you think you're doing? Like you look a bit then that woman's be like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? So everyone's
what's
different.
Ironic about it is that I'm very sensitive, but I, as a person, am very straight talking, very direct, and I've had to learn over time to be a little bit less harsh when I'm talking to a man. When I'm trying to hold a man or my partner, my potential partner, to account, I'm having to be a lot more careful about how I say something than perhaps I was in the past. You know, and that's also me kind of trying to sit a bit more in my feminine, not be in my mask. You know,
so for me, like,
easier said than done.
Yeah. And for me, and I want to say also like my opinion of what a relationship should be is so back then I was also like that, like, oh, he takes me out to this place, like that. So we said it in a part one before, saying like women complain because you know, men are not doing the job, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. By the way, oh my goodness, that part, you know, I said when women only complain because we're not fully satisfied in a relationship because men are not doing this and this and that. Do you know how many comments? Not a lot, but like some men attacked me on YouTube saying like, oh, maybe you should stop victimizing yourself, all of that kind of stuff. I was like, listen, you did not watch the video properly. I said, I don't think you understand what the video is trying to say. Yeah. We're not trying to put you down. We're trying to say that men, this, all you need to do is just this. We are simple creatures. That's all you need to do, and then we'll be like your women, all yours like that. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought, you know what, like you're always gonna get these trolls in it or whatever like that.
That's it.
But anyway, going back to my point is basically like. So back then I used to be like, yeah, why is he not taking me there, doing this for me, doing that? Now it's more like, I think it's all that comes with maturity, the growth, personal growth, and spirituality. There's the spiritual growth. As long as me and this man connect, we have this connection. Yeah. We connect. Yeah. Trust me, when you get to that point, and I know I'm experiencing it. When you connect, all this materialistic stuff don't even matter anymore. Yes. Obviously, it would be nice we go out every now and then, things like that. Don't get me wrong, I still want him to lead, like, you know, pay for the bill, take care of the bill, and all of that. But when you connect, these so-called like putting nice stuff on Instagram, you don't even. There's no need to share it with anyone, exactly, you like, mash it up. Because it's just you two. Yeah. All you care, because when you connect, you're in your own bubble with this guy, and that is the most beautiful thing ever. And I think this comes on. I want to talk about love without ego. Was it called?
Yes.
That I experienced. Basically, now I literally, after doing my first plant medicine and the peyote experience, I had an ego death. So for you guys, I think it's episode 13, I think, anyway. I did plant medicine ceremony and plant medicine, and then I truly understood what it is to cherish the moment and to not worry about the future. As in, like, don't get me wrong, you think about the future, but basically, like, you having that scarcity mindset of wanting more of this certain thing, then you forgetting what it's like to be in the moment with that person. So, and also what you already have. Yeah, like you said, like the scarcity. So you're thinking, oh, but he hasn't done this, and he hasn't done that. Yeah, but be grateful. He's really affectionate. Yeah, he texts me all the time. He tells me that he misses. Like, focus on the things that he does. Yeah, what is yours is already yours, basically. So this love without ego, I definitely understand it. What's your thoughts on it? Just that I would love for more women to maintain it. I think that we're so used to, and I do think it's partly the fault of the media. So I think things like Disney movies, for example, growing up didn't help. And this idea that, you know, we don't have to do anything and we'll just get the guy, and like the guy will be amazing and we'll just be a princess on a horse kind of thing. So I think lowering our expectations as women is important, but I also think knowing what you will and will not tolerate is important. You know, so basically what we're saying, when you say like lowering your expectation, yeah, so we're not saying, so ladies, like, don't get triggered now. Not standards. Yeah, we're not saying like, like settle for less. We're not saying that. Your standards should stay the same. Yeah, exactly. But what we're saying is, once, let's say you meet that guy, like, be aware, like, sort of understand that, okay, if he's doing something nice, then appreciate it. But if he's not doing something like, you see the red flags, so-called red flags, then obviously that's up to you, down to you. But this is why we've differed it from a dating, because with a relationship, you're both going in it with the intention that you're building together, you're going to create a legacy or an empire together. That's what you're going into the relationship with, that intention. So if you're both coming from that place of that intention, then stuff like going for a £400 dinner in Hakkasan isn't the be-all and end-all of that intention. The be-all and end-all of that intention is, right, what financial assets do we share? You know, how fit are we? You know, how long are we going to live to enjoy these assets that we're trying to work towards? You know, those are the things that are important, and not actually being able to take a picture of some tiny biscuit on a plate and put on IG and say, yeah, my babes took me to Hakkasan or Nobu. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's my opinion on it, is that, you know, lowering your expectations, that ego there is just about not what everybody else thinks about your relationship. It's how secure and comfortable are you in your relationship. Because once you get that right, nobody else, just like you were mentioning your friend saying, oh, what a jerk, and nobody else can come and comment on what you share thinking that they've got an in to your relationship. And also another thing, right, what I learned, although don't get me wrong, I do, for example, I tell you about my stuff, and another,
And vice
and
versa.
Kelly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I keep it small. I only tell 2
Yes.
people, you and
Yeah.
Kelly,
Yeah.
right, about my situation. But obviously, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, I don't judge people's relationship because you would never fully understand someone's relationship unless you're in it.
And because you don't judge it,
Yeah.
that's why I could come to you. Whereas I know that there's friends out there I wouldn't go to.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. Number one, because 9 times out of 10, those are the same friends that are going on like they've got it all under
Yeah.
control and they know what they're doing. And they haven't. I'll tell you a story about that in a minute.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is because the more people that know, the more people feel like they can comment. And at the end of the day, it's your thing.
Yeah, and
what
also,
you have is between you and that man or you and that woman. It's nobody else's.
and then when people start talking too much opinion now, you're gonna be so much in your head,
Yes.
the ego starts kicking in.
Yep, you're
so
not in the now, you're not in the present.
Exactly. So that's why you need to start. You just quiet all these voices, sit with yourself, only talk to the people you know are not gonna judge, only want the best for you, and drop from your head down to your heart. So I always say, so you know me, I actually go with everything with my heart now. I learned how to be with my heart. I know some people are like, what? No way am I going with my, you got to date with your head. Me, I'm just like, I've learned how to be my feminine. Which is me going down to with my heart. But anyway, that's another whole topic. But
No, but I admire that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important. I think that even as we age, if you're still looking for a relationship, if you're still looking for something long term, you have to lead with your heart. You know?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're wasting time,
Yeah.
effectively. You're
And people-
waiting for someone to... Do you know what I mean?
yeah, people say, I've had friends saying that to me, oh, you need to guard your heart, Cilia. Like, you're crazy. Da, da, da. You setting yourself up to get hurt. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with getting hurt because that is part of life. That is part of the journey.
Yeah.
If I get hurt, I get hurt. And if you want to think I'm crazy, that's still okay.
Can I just
Yeah.
pause and just make a point of
Yeah.
saying, so I can bring my story in now,
Yeah.
actually. It's a really good point, is that knowing or accepting that it's a possibility you could get hurt and still diving in, I think it's very different to not knowing your worth. Okay? And a friend of mine is seeing a guy who constantly reminds her that she's not his girl.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just pause you there because the difference basically. So my situation basically what I'm trying to say is that, and when I say allow myself, it's okay to get hurt. Basically, what I'm saying is I know the situation is good.
Yep.
There's no red flags.
Yep.
But what I'm saying, you know, some people they still because they're wounded from the past.
Yes.
They said they guarding their heart, thinking, oh, I might get eventually.
Or bringing their past into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, we've been dating 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
he hasn't.
Yeah, so
let's make it official.
Yeah, so potentially you're scared that you might get hurt, although everything
There you
seems so
go.
perfect.
There you go.
You seem to get hurt. So that's what I mean by leading from my heart. But now your situation is different. So
Yes,
keep going.
because so this is
Your
where we
friend-
come
your
to the
friend's
difference
situation,
between
yeah.
lowering expectations, yeah, and that's like, oh, when is he gonna text? When is he gonna call? Those are expectations to lowering standards, yeah. So you started seeing a guy, you're seeing each other casually. You've both accepted that you're seeing each other casually, but when you get upset about something or in your feelings and you express it, this is what's happening to my friend. He just takes it as the chance to remind you that actually you're not my girl. Now for me, if a guy is constantly reminding me that he's not my girl, I will permanently remind him by never going back there again. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm not going back there. Okay, because he's done that to establish insecurity, to kind of push towards my insecurity and make me even more worried that he's doing things that he shouldn't be
Give me
doing.
an example.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, so an example is my friend expressed her insecurity about another girl.
Yeah.
Right? So a girl who's in the close circle. She said, oh, you're kind of liking all her pictures. You're kind of talking to her. You're doing all this. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, nothing's going on.
Yeah.
And he kind of just shut it down. He even went on like she was being silly. Right? Weeks later now, she went abroad. And I mentioned in passing,
Yeah.
oh yeah, she's coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's gone, oh, does she need a lift from the airport? Right in front of my friend, because he knows
Yes,
that it's going to make
insecure.
my friend insecure. Now, again, for me, I've got so much by way of self-worth and self-respect. I couldn't tolerate those little digs.
Exactly.
So that would be enough for me to go, actually, I'm going to start dating again.
Yeah. That guy's pure disrespecting that girl
And she's
right there
lowering
and
their
there.
standards by
Yeah.
accepting it.
So like
Completely
that's why I
lowering
don't get, like, why do girls do that? Like, knowing okay, this is now where you go to your heart, okay? When I say go to your heart, okay, at least do this. Think about it, with the guy you're with, how does he make you feel? Does he make you feel happy? Does he make you feel scared? Does it make you feel anxious? Or does it make you feel excited? If it's all low vibration, like negative emotion, anxiety,
fear,
always make you feel insecure, then he's not the guy. Like, walk away. What the hell are you doing? Leave this guy. Like, you are doing to yourself. Like, have some self-respect, will you? Have some self-love.
And I think once you make that promise to yourself that actually I'm never going to tolerate less than I did before, or I'm never going to tolerate what I tolerated before. Once you make that promise to yourself, I think you're laughing because you never go back. And we spoke about that in the previous episode as well. Because I think for a lot of women, it's the going back or repeating the same pattern just with a different person that they find difficult to break out of. But I think that comes with self-awareness and it comes with honesty. You know, I'd say probably about 6 years ago now, I was really attracted to the bad boy. And I dated a guy who had actually spent 10 years in jail for stabbing someone. Imagine, right? And we, you know, we did our thing. I have a similar story, but go on. And he actually said to me, similar to what this guy said to my friend actually, he said to me, oh, you know, but it's not exclusive. Like, I'm seeing other people. You're probably seeing other people too. And I saw him for 4 months. And it got to Christmas and I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, you know, when you just have that moment, again, probably connecting more with my heart space. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I'm allowing this guy to come and see me as and when he pleases, but then also go and see all these other women as and when he pleases. And I'm supposed to be okay with it. And that's when I started to really address the whole having an absent caregiver. So maybe you had somebody in your life who was there physically, because my mum was always present, but just emotionally, she didn't have the space to hold for me. So because she didn't have that, that's what I look for in partners. It's a partner who's also emotionally unavailable. Now that I'm aware of that, as soon as I see signs that you're emotionally unavailable, I'm gone. Because I know that that's not what I want. It may be what I'm conditioned to look for, and it may be what I'm conditioned to attract.
Yeah.
But it's not what I want.
Let me ask you a question. All right, so let's say if a couple is, let's say he's married for 10 years, okay, and have 2 kids, and he's not happy, okay?
Okay.
Now, but the woman, the wife is abusive, like verbally abusive. Because I'm not going to say about the man being abusive because this is very typical, and I'm going to turn it around now.
Right.
Now, let's say the woman's very abusive.
I actually know a scenario like this where the woman was physically
abusive. Verbally and physically, to a point that like literally he headbutted him at one time. He's just like, he even said to her, like, calm yourself down. And she'd be like, oh, fuck off, like that. And he'd be like, don't say that again. And she'd be like, oh, fuck off, like that. And then, anyway, got physical like that, right? Anyway, now he is like, he's not happy, but he doesn't want to leave because of the kids and things like that. What are your thoughts on that? For me, let me tell you. For me, like, you're not happy. And I get there's the kids. Okay, I get it. All right. The kids are by the way, one is like probably like 1 year old and one is 7 years old.
Okay.
They're young, fair enough. But I said that if you're not happy, because the kids can sense the dynamic,
the energy,
right? And if you're not happy, they can, and don't bear in mind, they have seen them argue.
Of course.
Right? Okay. And he's just like, oh, like, you know, mum and daddy is wrong of us, blah, blah, blah. You can explain. But however, you don't understand it actually affects them. Anyway. And then, so he doesn't want to, he had thought about divorcing, but then he doesn't want to because of the kids. He can't stand not seeing them every single day, which I get. But however, I just feel like, if you're not loving yourself first, I think this comes to self-love as well. If you love yourself enough, you walk away with that situation, not allow that to happen to yourself. And also, you walking away is also showing an example to your children to show what self-love is.
Yes.
Yeah? But he's saying that, no, I'm going to make it work.
Okay.
What is your thought?
Woo! This one's a hard one. I think that I am of the mind, and only because my parents were married for 30 years, and they divorced when I was 25. And I always grew up with my parents together. Right? So to me, them being apart was just weird, right? However, when I think back about memories of my family home, all I really remember are my parents arguing. I don't remember very many memories that were positive, for example. I even remember us one day, I recommended we go to Virginia Water Lake, which is just past Windsor, and just have a day out, like a picnic, day out in the park. And we got literally 10 minutes down the road. My mum decided she wanted to drive. and my dad does passenger driver when my mum's driving. 10 minutes down the road, my parents started arguing and we came back home.
Yeah.
So a lot of my formative memories are of these very negative experiences. So for me personally...
So it does affect the children then?
Definitely, 100% affects the kids. I think you're right, we sense a lot of energy. I think not only that, we become desensitized to that energy. So it becomes normal for us to feel that way. So, things are a bit tense at home, it then becomes normal for us to feel tense, you know? So we grow up having to learn to re-regulate our emotions, to know and understand what it is to relax, because we were so used to being in a home that was tense.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's really important for partners to just have a very frank and open conversation with their children.
Yeah.
And to make the decisions, even if it takes time for those decisions to come to fruition, you know? So you decide you're divorcing, but actually your wife can't afford to live by yourself, or you can't afford, so it takes a while for you to get there. But until then, as my parents did actually, they sleep in separate rooms, you know, and everybody understands that, okay, we're all just adults living here independently, rather than there being this kind of like, I don't know, you know, we feel trapped or we feel forced to stay here, because I just don't think that's right on anyone. I don't think it's fair on anyone.
Yeah. I mean, everyone obviously each to their own, innit? Do whatever works for you,
but
I
people
guess.
don't realize how much it affects the kids, man. And I really feel, you know, this is one of the reasons I became a teacher for so long.
Yeah.
I really feel passionate about the fact that children are so largely affected by what's going on in their home. And sometimes the parents don't know.
Yeah. And I can say, like, this guy friend, basically, I was just telling you about, he, to a point that he said that he hasn't had sex in 3 months with his wife. Or sometimes even longer, because basically the wife is now so into the kids, and like basically he feels like he doesn't even exist anymore. Has he addressed this with
you?
They've spoken about it, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, and then it happens again, and then and now he just sometimes just goes alone to a pub and just have a drink and get hammered every now and then, and like, you know, just, and then I said to him, like, you know, you have a choice, so like, do you think this is really you set an example for the kids and things like that? But yeah.
And this is another thing that I think makes relationships so difficult now, is that I don't think there are as many strong individuals. So I feel like, yes, like we are community-based individuals. We all need a community. We need good relationships, supportive relationships to thrive, right? But I think a lot of people don't kind of seek that. They don't look for that in their partners. They don't, and then later on down the line, when they have to make the choice to actually break up with someone or, you know, do the divorce or whatever, it becomes more difficult to do, because they've literally leaned on each other for the last 10, 15, 20 years. You know, my dad didn't know how to cook when he divorced my mum. Yeah. And he's had to learn over the last few years. So,
yeah. I was going to say something about relationship. I forgot. Like, just came out of my head.
So I think it's important to be brave when you're taking these types of steps.
Yeah. Oh, and I think, so as much as, like, don't get me wrong, like, even you're in a relationship and you've been married for years and you have kids, and obviously I'm not saying like, oh, it's not working out, you get along, you should leave straight away. Obviously try to make it work. But it also comes to, maybe you need to do some inner work. Yeah. Like, you both have traumas that you haven't healed. Yeah. So now, because you're not healed, you're bringing those issues into the relationship. Yes. So maybe, first of all, that's why you need to, I said, have that self-love to work on yourself. Once you worked on yourself, then, you know, and obviously you set an example for your partner, she will work on herself or he will work on himself, and then that's how you improve the marriage. Because I do have a friend who basically used to be really angry and things like that, and he did his inner work, he did healing, he's still healing, we're always healing anyway. He did some inner work, went deep, and then started his spiritual journey, and he even did plant medicine, all of that, and he said that his marriage has improved so much.
Oh, yeah. That's so nice.
And he said the sex life...
Do you mind me asking, is the wife open to these things as well? The things that he's been doing to evolve and to grow spiritually?
I don't think she's on the same path. Like, she's getting there, but not as much. Okay. I didn't really ask, but I know from what I heard, he said that he's more... I don't want to say it's a competition, not a competition, but he's saying it's more like he's ahead of her. Right. But he just understands that everyone's on the journey. Yes. So, yeah. But yeah, so
a friend of mine, because, you know, just off the back of yours, a friend of mine's been married for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. And has decided that he's going to stay with his wife until he can take her for all she's got. Basically, that's what he's decided. And this is what I'm saying to you: relationships are so much more complicated than dating, and I think that's why some people just stay in the dating scene. Because I think it's a lot more complex to be in a full-blown, consistent, long-term relationship with someone than it is to just go on a couple of dates.
Yeah. What do you think, just to wrap it up, what do you think of like open relationships? Is that for you?
It's definitely not for me.
Yeah.
But I have recently been thinking a lot about, especially as a woman, if you don't have children, what does love or relationships look to you into your 40s, into your 50s? What does it look like? So it's not for me, but I think that people that are able to do it and boundary themselves well, I admire. Because I don't think that human beings are polygamous creatures. I don't think that we're destined to just have one partner for the rest of our lives.
Okay, yeah. No, I see that. For me, open relationship is not for me. What's it called? Monogamous. Yeah, that's me. But each to their own, no judgment. Like I said,
my thing about monogamy is you just got to keep it. You got to keep it exciting. I get easily bored. So if it's going to be a monogamy, you got to make sure that you're putting in that effort to keep me entertained. And the minute I get bored, my eyes will wander.
Yeah, I want my man to always be able to slap my ass.
Yeah,
all the time, public. At home, whatever. I think that's keep it spicy like that. Yeah.
So little things like that.
Yeah, little things like that, and always and also I will always compliment my man. I think these little gestures, things like that, and I think it keeps a spark.
Yeah.
Spark up, innit?
Yeah. So my final thoughts would be, if you're in a relationship, try to think more about what is there, existing, than what is missing and lacking.
Yeah.
And if you're not in a relationship, start to consider for yourself, even if you're not dating, start to consider for yourself what you want in a relationship.
Yeah. And for me, is don't have this, piggyback off what you said, like basically, focus on what you have. You don't have the scarcity mindset. Don't be complaining, like men or women, like maybe sit down, have a chat and open conversations. Say like, you know what, I would love it if you did more of this, things like that. And,
could do a gratitude practice. Yeah,
and things like that. And if after you've spoken, it's still not working out, go through the heart. And how does it make you feel? Then after you've done the inner work, all of that, because after you've done the healing, the inner work, you will know if this guy or woman is for you or not.
100%.
So, but before we do a quick episode on this, if it's not enough, let us know and we do another episode.
Add in some comments of other things you'd like us to discuss.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again.
Yeah. Anyway, love you all for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Take care. Mwah. Bye.